Welcome to Mason and Fricker's Eldritch Stories. My name is Paul Fricker. Our tale today is about the importance of correct health and safety, a topic so often mocked, but it is there for a reason. Don't forget to wear your goggles. What's wrong with you? Got some dust in my eye, washing it out. You weren't wearing your goggles again, were you? No. His eye was still sore that night. It'd be fine in the morning, he assured himself as he brushed his teeth. The next morning, he stared bleary-eyed in the bathroom mirror. His eye was still bloodshot, and the skin around it felt tender and puffy. Be better later, he thought. At the lab, his concentration was consumed with analysing meteorite fragments. They had wanted the job done quickly, so it was a nose to the grindstone kind of day. Other than an occasional itch, he put the discomfort out of his mind. At lunch, Jason looked concerned. That eye's not looking good. You put something on that? He promised he was going to clean the eye out again. Jason nodded and they went back to discussing football. Following a dash around the supermarket to get some eye wash, he got home and looked in the bathroom mirror. The eye was still a little bloodshot, and the skin around looked less swollen, but was now turning purple. Looks like I've been punched, he thought, as he opened the eye wash bottle. Tipping his head back, he poured some on his eye. The cold liquid ran down his cheek and into his beard. The eye felt better. He wandered out of the bathroom, satisfied, and turned on the TV. The alarm roused him. The eye was painful and, without thinking, he rubbed it as he got out of bed. Sharp, sudden pain made him cry out. He walked to the bathroom, pulling on the light cord above the mirror. The purple bruise around the eye had turned black. The eye was no longer bloodshot, but the white now had a distinctly yellow cast. He stared at his face, only now noticing the real change. The iris had changed colour. Unlike the grey-blue of his right eye, the iris of his left eye was black. He turned on the room light to check this wasn't some trick cast by the soft glow of the mirror light. It wasn't. He just stood there, that dark eye staring back at him. It was looking at him. I'm going daft, he muttered, and walked out, reaching for his phone. A mug of coffee went cold beside him as he scanned the internet, searching terms like iris coloration, heterochromia, and found lots of images of David Bowie's eyes. He ended up reading an article about Bowie having anisocoria, and how one of his pupils had been larger than the other, which at times made the irises seem differently coloured. He went back to the mirror. The eye was definitely a different colour, which, according to what he had been reading, wasn't possible. He stood facing his reflection for a long time. Then the left eye moved in its socket, slowly turning left and then right. His right eye remained still. Somewhat panicked, he turned his face away. He didn't want to look back, but he couldn't resist. As he turned his face back to the mirror, the left eye was moving independently of his right. Disbelieving, the realization grew. It was not his eye. It wasn't part of him. It was something other. He felt giddy and nauseous. He blinked, rubbed the eye, and then emptied the bottle of eye wash into it, yet the sickening sensation was undiminished. As he struggled to come to a reason, an explanation, he kept returning to the same conclusion. It wasn't his eye. It was as if some parasite had taken root in the eye, establishing control. He could feel it growing stronger. He pictured thread-like tendrils growing, attaching to the muscles, snaking out through the optic nerve. A hostile invader spreading ever closer to his brain. When it got there, it would be the one in control. It wanted flesh, his flesh, corrupting each muscle, repurposing them to its own hideous agenda. Soon it would reach his brain, and his own flesh would be turned against him. There would be nothing left of him but a screaming mind trapped in darkness. He moved toward the kitchen. His legs weren't working right. He stumbled, catching a handle as his legs gave way. Hands fumbling, his fingers pulled the drawer open and reached inside. As a numbing sensation ran down his arm, his fingers found what he sought and curled around the knife's handle. Lying on the kitchen floor, he plunged the blade into the eye. My Eye was written by Mike Mason and read by Paul Fricker. Find out more at eldritchstories.com. Join us again next time for another chilling tale, and remember, keep it eldritch.